Hello, today we are going to talk about computer ethics. In every profession, there is a set of behavior or principles that are expected of the members of the profession, like members of the medical communities, like doctors, the pharmacists, the lab scientists. There's a way that these people behave because they are into medical profession. Lawyers, there's a way they behave because they are into legal profession. Every profession, all their members, there's a particular behavior that is expected of their members. The same way, when we come to computer, every computer professional, there's a set of behavior that is expected of every computer professional or any person that uses a computer. Anyone that handles a computer, there's a set of behavior that is expected of the person to exhibit why the person is using the computer or why the person is within the computer environment. So the set of behavior that is expected of computer professionals to exhibit within a computer environment is what we call computer ethics. I say that computer ethics is a set of behavior that is expected of computer professionals to exhibit within a computer environment. This is a set of computer. This is a set of computer. A set of compute. A set of behavior. This is a set of behavior. A set of behaviors that is expected of computer professionals to exhibit within a computer environment. That is what we call computer ethics. If you come to a computer room, there are things that are expected of you to do and things that are expected of you not to do because that place is a computer room. If you come to a computer laboratory, there are rules and regulations. There are do's and don'ts within a computer room or computer laboratory. So you must obey these rules and regulations, and these fall within the computer ethics. Things that you must do because you are within a computer environment. Now, why do we place these rules? Or why do we set this set of behaviors? We set them to protect the computers. If people are allowed to come to a computer environment or a computer room and do anyhow they like, they can carry the computers, see the computers, destroy the computer, or do so many things that are not expected of them to do. They can download malwares into the computers, they can damage the computer, they can start fighting within the computer environment, and all these things are not very, very bad. So to stop these things from happening, we set up what we call computer ethics to make sure that people behave appropriately when they are within a computer environment. So the reasons for computer ethics are: number one, to protect computer devices, protect computer devices. Two, to protect computer softwares. Three, to protect computer users. And four, to protect the computer environment. Computer environment. Now, this computer ethics, we have two things we consider in computer ethics. We consider computer room management and computer laboratory rules and regulation. When we are talking about computer room management and computer laboratory rules and regulations. When we are talking about computer room management, we are talking about sets of principles that are expected of a computer manager or somebody that is in control of a computer to do. When you are using computer, or when you find yourself within a computer room, there are things you are expected to do. Or if you are a computer manager, there are things that are expected of you to do within the computer room. These are what we consider in computer room management. Number one is that the computer manager must make sure that the computer room is dust free. Why? Because computer is made up of iron, and iron gets damaged easily through rust. And the major cause of rusting in iron is dust. When dust enters iron, the iron will begin to dust, thereby damaging the computer equipment. So the computer room must be dust free. The computer room must be dust free. That is free of dusts. Number two is that the computer manager must make sure that the computer room is properly ventilated. There should be sufficient air within the computer room. The computer room should not be stuffy. Properly ventilated. The computer room should be properly ventilated. Number three, that the person managing the computer room must make sure that there is free movement within the computer room. Now, when we are talking about free movement within a computer room, we are not talking about allowing people access to the computer room anyhow. It means making sure that there is no obstruction within the computer room. If somebody wants to pass, there is no obstruction within the road. The person will see where to pass. So that is what we mean by free movements within the computer room. There will be no obstruction to movement within the computer room. No obstruction of movement. No obstruction of movement. No obstruction of movement. Obstruction of movement within a computer room. Number 4 thing is that we make sure that there is proper lighting within the computer room. People that, or the computer users, they can see very well within the computer room. There should be sufficient lights within the computer room. Proper lighting within the computer room. And then the computer manager must also make sure that there is no explosive within the computer room. It shouldn't bring anything that will cause explosion within the computer room. No explosives. No explosives within the computer room. And the computer manager must also make sure that liquids are not brought to the computer room. Why? Liquids, when they pour on the computers, they can easily damage the computers. So liquid materials are not allowed to be brought into the computer room. No liquids to the computer room. Then the computer manager must make sure that there is no unauthorized access within the computer room. That means that people that are not authorized to use the computer should not come and use the computer. That is one of the things we consider in computer room management. If you are given the task to manage a computer room, or if you find yourself as a user in a computer room, you must make sure that people that don't have access to the computer should not come and use the computer along with you. So number 7, no unauthorized access. No unauthorized access. Okay, so we now consider computer laboratory rules and regulations. When we are considering computer laboratory rules and regulations, we are talking about the do's and don'ts, things we should do and things we are not supposed to do within a computer laboratory. Laboratory rules and regulations. Laboratory rules and regulations. Number 1 thing we should do in computer laboratory rules and regulations is that we have to make sure that anytime we want to use a disk in the laboratory, you have to scan the disk or the diskette before you use it. Now, I want you to notice one thing. There is a clear difference between laboratory rules and regulations and computer room management. The difference is this: when we are talking about computer room management, we are talking mostly about the manager, the computer manager, or the computer administrator, what the person is supposed to do to make sure that the computer environment is okay. But when we are talking about computer rules and regulations, so whether the person is the manager or just the computer user or somebody that comes to use the computer, there are things that are expected of them to do and things that are expected of them not to do within a computer laboratory. So all users within a computer laboratory, you must scan disk before use, scan disks or diskettes before use. Number two thing to do is that if you are not using your computer, you have to turn it off. Turn off computers. Turn off computers if not in use. If not in use. Number three is that there should be no movement of equipment from their original position. If you are a computer user, you come to a computer laboratory, you should not move any equipment away from their original position. Never move equipment away from their original position. Number 4, we have to shut down computers when we are leaving the computer laboratory. Shut down computer properly. Shut down computers properly before leaving the computer laboratory. And then the next thing we have to consider is that we should never use computer laboratory internet for any other activity apart from educational activities. Number 5, internet facilities or laboratory internet should be used only for educational purposes. Yes, so these are the things we consider in computer ethics. I say that computer ethics, they are a set of behavior that is expected of computer professionals or computer users to exhibit within a computer environment. And we talked about computer room management, and now we talked about computer laboratory rules and regulations.